Just now. Thank you, dudes, for coming back to the Limelight podcast. Joining us today is the guitar player from Thank You Scientist and a couple other side projects that he has, with example of Ditch Tickler and a couple of things that he's doing. Tom Monda. Hey, brother. Happy birthday, too.
Howdy, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for spending my birthday with me. Wow.
Happy birthday.
What a way to make myself feel important, you know?
Turning the age of 69, like that's a...
I have a captive audience to celebrate my birthday with me. So cool.
Yeah, 69 years old and you look fantastic. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been really working on, 69. Just really trying to get that 69 shine, as they say.
69 shine.
Get it polished off and everything.
Oh, so polished. My webcam doesn't do me justice. Trust me.
That's awesome, man. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with you, man. Thank you for coming on, taking the time, obviously, especially on your birthday.
Thank you guys for inviting me. And how are you guys hanging in there with the whole quarantine situation? How's it been on your end?
Yeah, not too bad. Just living. I don't got it, so that's a good start.
That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're able to book a lot of guests too with the podcast, and then Zach and I jam on the side and everything. So with cover stuff. So I mean, it's been pretty. I don't know. Like it's been pretty enjoyable so far. But I would like the whole touring world to go back to normal. I would like the industry to resume. This is insane, man.
Yeah, man. I have to say I'm not too optimistic about it. I just I don't have anything to say really other than that. I'm just not too optimistic about it coming back for a while. You know?
And you guys actually put out a festival for 2021 too, the Beard Fest. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping by then everything's gonna be back to normal. But we had some other tour stuff, not stuff that I can specifically talk about, but we had some tour stuff that's, obviously. We had something that was supposed to happen a couple months ago, but then this whole thing kicked off and it's pushed back to early next year, but who knows what the situation's going to be. So we're just kind of using the opportunity to sort of, at least me personally, I've been, getting together with the guys to try to write the next record and just trying to kind of invest the time forward as much as we can. I mean, that's all we really can. I mean, I guess that's what you guys are doing too, right? Get as many guests as you can on the podcast and take advantage of the time,
Yeah, definitely taking advantage of the time. I mean, that's really all you can do at this point. But so you're in New Jersey, correct? Right?
That is correct. Yeah, born and raised.
I kind of have to agree with the whole just like the not being optimistic about everything coming back, because when Philly did they just straight up were like, February 2021. Yeah, we're not gonna have anything until then. That was like kind of what like threw me back a little bit, and I was like, whoa. Nobody else had done that yet.
It's totally crazy, and but it's the right thing to do. We have we have to sort of like look past all the short-term boo-hoos, woe is me kind of shit. And I don't want to risk making $10 playing a show and killing someone's grandma. That doesn't seem
not worth it at all.
Not worth it. So I'd rather let's just I wish everybody just can put on a big face and sort of just be responsible. But it seems like I don't know, we're in a weird place as a country right now. It's very clear. And shit's crazy. Shit's popping up, as the kids say.
I think this is karma because I complained incessantly last year that we didn't get a.
So specifically, I can blame you, Zach, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly, because I complained that we didn't get a damn snow day at all last year. And now look at this; it ruined snow days forever. Nobody's ever got
snow days. Now we're on some fucked up timeline.
So I'm sorry. I'm the guy you can blame. You can put a face to the blame. It's me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm willing to take it.
How's everybody else in the band been doing? I mean, I know you guys keep in close contact, but is everybody healthy and safe? And,
yeah, everybody's healthy. Luckily, everybody, no family calamities or anything like that, which is the most important thing. And, most of my friends are safe. All the guys in the band are great. We took a couple months off of getting together in the same room. But a couple weeks back, we started rehearsing again, safely. We have like a safe way to practice. We have like an airplane hangar that the studio's built into down in the Asbury area. And we rehearse there. And then we have a place up by me near East Rutherford that we rehearse. And we've been getting back into it. I've been coming up with a bunch of ideas, and we've been hitting it hard. We're actually preparing right now for we're going to do a Halloween live stream, and we'll be announcing kind of info on that. But we're doing a whole live costume, costume contest, costume party, stream, concert.
Now that kind of brings me up to another thing then. So with the Facebook guidelines kind of changing, did that kind of like throw a wrench into the plans for that?
So my understanding now, granted, we're going to be streaming on it. It's going to be a private platform. It's going to be.
Okay, that's good.
That is good. Yeah.
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that when you actually there was a lot of clickbaity sort of articles going on about this Facebook thing, but I think really what they're trying to do is crack down on not so much the performance of music, but the DMC strikes for like people streaming like records.
Okay,
or like music on Spotify or something. Like you just saw the same thing happen on Twitch recently, where they had these massive DMC takedowns. And the way that works, it's totally algorithmic, and it's just going through it. There's no bad man. Like I know we got a lot of messages saying like, "Why'd you flag our music on Twitch?" And I'm like, dude, I've never even been on Twitch in my life. No one's flagging your music. It's like an algorithmic thing from our distributor, from our record label, and that's the case with most artists. But I think that is more what they're, as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong if you read anything different, but as far as I can tell, that was my big takeaway from that it's more targeted against that sort of stuff.
It kind of is. My understanding of the whole thing was basically it had to do a lot with the DJs because of the copyrighted music, and basically what you just said, like it's just copyrighted music that isn't really legal to be played, and there are people that are allowed to make money off of Twitch live streaming, so therefore it's already, throwing everything into a funk, so it's not helping anybody.
People make a killing off Twitch, man, and we have to, people have to understand that, like, man, artists are already essentially giving away their money, right? So then when, or giving away their music rather, maybe giving away our money too.
It's kind of both.
Let's go with both. But we're giving away the music already, and that's fine. That's sort of the direction where, the market sort of decided that for us, that like people decided that music is not a commodity that we're going to pay for in the same way that we paid for, which is fine. That's like society grows, things change. But there's got to be a fair way to compensate artists for when people are making money while using their music. There has to be some sort of fair way.
With the live show that you guys are going to be announcing, whenever that may be, whenever the end date is Terraformer going to be more predominantly played through the live stream, or do you guys have other surprises?
No, it's a pretty healthy mixture of everything.
That's cool.
And our whole kind of methodology behind that was that, there's a lot of people around the world that it's cost prohibitive for us to play in certain places, and it's going to be a while before we reach them. So we figured, let's give like a nice balanced set list for people who haven't had the opportunity to see us play live, And then we're also doing some fresh stuff. We're doing some like kind of funny medleys. Like we do these ridiculous medleys live of just songs that shouldn't go together. And so we'll do a bunch of those, and we'll look ridiculous, and I think people will enjoy it. We're doing it at Backroom Studios with Kevin Antressian from Dillinger Escape Plan.
Oh, let's go!
Sick.
Yeah, they're right down the road from you guys. Yeah, my good friends Sierra from With Sales Ahead, they recorded there, and a couple other guys from the local music scene too. So they're really good guys.
Yeah, really good guys, and I've known Kevin for a while, and so any chance we get to work together, we always have a good time.
Are you a fan of Tim and Eric by any chance? The show?
I'm a huge fan. Yeah,
dude, I find it. I kind of get that from your content with like how hilarious you guys are. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, thank you. Yeah, well, you know what? I get just as much joy out of playing music as I do like trying to make people laugh at stupid shit. So yeah, that's a. That's a big part of our thing too. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We take the music seriously, but not ourselves seriously.
I mean, you guys definitely take the music seriously. It's not easy music that you guys are composing. It's definitely complicated, complex, rock, prog, ska. Like there's a lot going on in there because the process, I'm sure, like writing everything it's very detail oriented through the beginning.
Well, yeah, it's very. Yeah, there's a lot of detail work in the orchestration and stuff. We really always kind of go to town on the orchestration, and that just came from a love of like older music that had that sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My friends in Covet, they also do the same thing. Like they're huge fans of Tim and Eric, and they kind of like joke around.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell some funny stories about kind of. I don't even know if maybe we told this story once, so not a lot of people know this, so it could be kind of funny. But so for the Terraformer album cycle, we had we put out that infomercial. I don't know if you guys saw that with that naked old guy.
I browsed it. Yeah, I did.
So there's kind of a story behind that. I came up with the idea that I wanted to do some kind of like cheesy infomercial for that record.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did like a Craigslist casting call to try to find like someone to host the infomercial.
That's always a great plan.
Yeah, and we specifically said like we want like an older gentleman, someone with a grandfatherly, kind of look. And nothing about nudity though, just but we met this guy and he was like, I'm interested in this gig, and he sent some headshots. He was really seemed like a perfect fit, and we're like, oh, this sounds great. The next message he sends us is a really simple email that just says, is there nudity? And we were like, well, let's just ignore that and just kind of see how this plays out. We set up the time for him to come to do this shoot, and then he sends us a picture of himself totally naked with nipple clamps on, and then the next email he sent was him in like a T2 Judgment Day kind of like nude in the street sort of pose. And
all right.
And so we were like, yo, this is our dude.
That sold you. That was what sold you. He took
100%. Once I saw that, I'm like, this guy's got the gig. So yeah, this dude, and he ended up being just a fantastic guy. That when you meet a naked elderly person off Craigslist, you can definitely go the wrong way. But as far as those kind of suspect encounters are concerned, it went pretty damn well. He was a really great guy, and he has since gone on to be in a couple of our videos. Like he's playing keyboards in the Party All the Time video that we did.
I saw that, yeah.
Also naked. Almost got kicked out of that studio for that. That's a whole other story.
Oh my god. Dude.
But so anyway, if you've seen that infomercial, the other older gentleman, the co-host in the infomercial, is actually our drummer's dad, who didn't know that there was going to be a naked senior citizen from Craigslist there. So you're seeing his like honest reactions in that. So if you get a chance to watch it again, keep that in mind. But
that's art.
Yeah, but we're always art. We're into the dumb content,
Surprise, motherfucker! I'm naked.
Yeah, we're all about it. Actually, he disappeared, then he came back into the room and he was like fluffing himself. And I was like, this dude is a consummate professional.
Yeah, he's ready to act, dude. Like he's done this before. This isn't his first rodeo.
He's like a method actor. He's like De Niro. The camera's off. He's like
he's a method actor.
Yeah.
He's just so plays the role like Jim Carrey kept playing the role or something, or Heath Ledger keeps playing the role of the Joker. It just keeps going.
Totally method.
Yeah, even in your playthroughs too. Like towards the end of one of your playthroughs, it's like tuned to be what does it say? It's like
I get the Eric Andre thing, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, to be continued or something, and it's just like you just stare into the camera. Like, dude, I love that shit. After everything that's so intricate and like so like elegantly played, then it's just like.
Yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing. I can't be dishonest, and I am not like. Look at me. I'm a fucking dweeb. I'm not going to be sitting in front of like a fan with my hair blowing while I'm guitar soloing. I'm not that dude. Right. I have to just be honest to myself, and I don't take myself too seriously. So, and I think the world could honestly use a dose of that more often. To be honest, I think sometimes people are just so serious in music, and it's like it's okay. It's wiggly air. We can be laid back about it. It's fine.
Have you ever heard about what Jack Black talked about with Tenacious D when they asked him like, hey man, like, are you ever gonna like write a serious song? And he pretty much just goes the same thing with what you said of just like everybody takes themselves too seriously, and it's just like it kind of feels ridiculous at some point.
Yeah,
it's like you kind of lose yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing personally so much too. I mean, like you just started the Unemployed with Monda too. Like where you interview people like of your inspiration too. Like how's that been going? Like who do you have coming up in the near future? Is it a lot of people that you've worked with?
I'm like totally. I took a small break from it because I've just been so swamped with like. I'm in the process of buying a house amidst all this pandemic crazy.
Oh, it's the best, isn't it?
God bless you.
Yeah. So that's a huge transition, and it's been taking up a lot of time trying to find the perfect place. But so I took a little break, but I've been talking to some friends. I'm probably gonna have Bumblefoot on, Charlie Hunter, Vernon Reed, a bunch of really cool guests. Just And it's not going to be specifically guitar players. It just so happens I have a lot of guitar playing friends.
Surprise.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll get there. And it's just kind of like a casual kind of thing. I'm not even like really pushing it. I don't even really like notify anybody that's there. It was something like that. I said, I'm just going to do something totally different. because I'm always practicing music and kind of working on music, and sometimes it's nice to just like do something where there's no creative pressure at all, you know, just do something real, just whatever, just talk with my friends and put it out, just build up some content. And so that's been going well.
Who are like your kind of like your Mount Rushmore in terms of like for you of who you look up to in terms of just like your own playing style? What inspired you?
My Mount Rushmore would be Ted Nugent, Lil Wayne.
I was gonna
Young
say,
Weasley, baby.
Who was the one Jonas brother who had that sick ass solo?
Oh, Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
Is beautiful.
Nick Jonas would be on there for sure.
Okay, good. This is ultimate powerhouse right now.
And I think the biggest head on my Mount Rushmore would go to Fred Durst. There's an incredible Fred Durst guitar solo.
Wow, over Ted Nugent. That's really intriguing, actually.
Yeah, I mean the Nuge is on there, but you know his politics almost made it so that I banned him. But he made it.
And I'm surprised none of them have been president of the United States yet. That blows my mind too.
Not yet.
Not
yet.
Not yet. We'll chisel them in, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm writing in Nuge this year.
I'm writing in Nuge.
I keep writing in Mickey Mouse and that shit never shows up. It pisses me off. So bullshit.
Pat Metheny, Lenny Bro, Charlie Hunter, Bumblefoot. Who else? I mean, Bumblefoot was like a teacher of mine when I was growing up, so he was like
really
hugely influential. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, maybe George Benson probably.
So you've kind of like shifted into a teaching role now, right? That's what you were doing today a little bit.
Yeah, I've always been teaching since I was probably 16. I started teaching, and it's just something I love doing. You know, it's great for someone who tours.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you know, it's hard. You know, when I'm not on tour with Thank You Scientist, I'm a freelance working musician, you know, just like anybody else. It's not like I just do Thank You Scientist and that's how I make a living. It'd be impossible. So I teach a lot of lessons. I play on Broadway. I was recently, before the COVID thing, I was playing in the Tina Turner musical.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I just started getting into Broadway stuff, and that's a fun new world.
That's a whole like lane I've really never even thought of in terms. I mean, you're in the perfect area to do it if you're up in East Rutherford. So
yeah, it's really cool. So I'm just getting my foot in the door there, and that's nice because it's, you know, really high level musicians. And, and kind of like high pressure scenario where you can't fuck up, which I find really fun. So that's cool. And I play weddings. I play at restaurants. I play jazz when people are eating pasta. You know, I do fucking degrading shit like that.
Degrading shit. But, I mean, that stuff's sometimes like the most fun environment though, because like
so intimate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm being silly, but yeah, I love music. If I didn't love music, there
is something about playing at a place like where nobody gives a shit that you're there, and like you finally realize that you're like, nobody's listening to me. And then you can just kind of do whatever the fuck you want to do and just take a hardcore, like 180 degree turn and just completely shift gears and just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you know, the good news about any gig like that, where it's more like a utility gig where you're sort of like musical wallpaper, right? It gives you kind of an opportunity to take risks because no one's really listening, right? But take risks in front of an audience, you know, get used to that sort of. It was really helpful for me to be playing a lot of gigs, just to lose the safety net, like, and just be comfortable with improvising in front of people, be comfortable making mistakes and things not being perfect and being okay with that. And so that, you know, those gigs can be really valuable. So I'm not poo-pooing on those gigs at all. They're actually really good. But yeah, it's totally all in how you use them. You know, sort of that like no pressure scenario. You can sort of really push and try things, and you know, it's a good opportunity for me to try things that I'm working on in my practice, you know, in a real life scenario that's like, I'm not going to get fired. No one's going to spit out their pasta and boss if I play some lick and I fuck up, right? But
Yeah.
Do you prefer gigs, different gigs over the other? Like, for example, like if you had to choose between a like couple month-long tour or a couple festivals in between, like do you prefer other shows in general? I've asked this a lot, and usually musicians say it doesn't matter, just give me a gig and I'm playing. Like,
well, I will tell you this. I definitely prefer smaller gigs to larger gigs, only because I feel like, and this might be just because Thank You Scientist is not like exactly a high tech sort of band. We're very old school, even compared to the bands that we tour with. Like we're not like on in-ears, we're not on a click, like we don't have tracks, we don't have, we're just very low tech. We're like an old school band, just like we're in a room, plug in and play. And so with that respect, I feel like it's a lot easier for us to play a small room where like I can hear the sound coming off my amp. I don't need to hear my guitar through a wedge or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we just play better dynamically in that kind of scenario because we're really feeling the air move and being really connected dynamically. And that's important for us because we'll fuck around, we'll improvise, we'll, do goofy shit. We always, you might catch little musical jokes in our set, like, we always try to see how many times we could fit the drum fill from Smooth and the melody from Smooth, like into, we just have like dumb like gimmicks that we do, but like all shit like that, we play off each other in a funny way and it keeps things fresh. And so that aspect of our playing is much easier to do in sort of a smaller club setting and not like a large room kind of setting. With that said, I do love the opportunity of playing in front of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last time I heard you guys play was the Stone Pony Summer Fest or the Stone Pony Summer Stage, where you guys were opening up for Coheed. That was a huge show, dude. That was a pretty big show.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was actually Cody's first show with the band. So that was a pretty trial by fire. Yeah, it's like
he was probably shouldn't have
joined our band. He learned our shit. We recorded on Stranger Heads Prevail, and then we had our first gig together. It was like in his hometown in front of like 5,000 people or however many people were out there. It was crazy. Yeah. And that was a trial by fire. I remember he was so nervous. And,
I would be too.
So right after that show, I don't know if you caught, we did like an after party afterwards where my fusion band played right across the street, like after a Coheed set. And we played for like 2 or 3 hours, just doing like jazz and funk standards and stuff like that. Nice. And so that was a real fun night. But yeah, I remember Cody just immediately when our set was done, he's like, I'm going to go get drunk because I have to, I'm so relieved that this nightmare is over.
His whole hometown, all 5,000 people just watching him play.
Yeah, it's like such a sigh of relief for him when we finished our set.
That's so cool. And dude, honestly, like, and I love Coheed just as much as anybody else does. I mean, there's a lot more hardcore fans than me out there. I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore fan. But the Facebook group, Coheed and Cambria fans, they love you guys. Like, when they have a band that they're interested in, they just go nuts and bananas for you guys or any other bands that they like. I think they were praising Polyphia when they first went on tour with Coheed. But they're always anxiously waiting for something for Thank You Scientist to do or tour, which is cool.
That whole gang has been really super kind to us, which is really cool, because it could go either way. You tour with a big band and, if the audience, generally doesn't want to give the opening band a chance, right? They just want to get there, hear what they came to hear. And, but they were actually really kind of inviting, and I think, being on Claudio's label certainly, made their audience probably more receptive to what we do. Yeah. Because I think we get compared to Coheed a lot, but I think the comparison is real surface level. Mm-hmm. In terms of the vocals, I think musically what we do is pretty different. So, it was cool to see them really dig it that much,
Yeah. How did that relationship start?
That's a long story. So, Claudio has this comic book company.
Yeah.
The Onward Wars, yeah. Yeah,
and he decided he wanted to start a label. And it just so happens that one of the guys, Adrian, who works for the comic company, said, hey, I've been listening to this band a lot. I found him on Reddit. You might dig it. And I guess Claudio really got into the album. He was listening to it like every day in his morning runs. Maps of Non-Existent Places is what I'm talking about, that record. Mm-hmm. And he just got super into it. And when he decided he was going to start a label, he's like, well, why don't I sign that Thank You Scientist band? So we were playing a show in Brooklyn, April Fool's Day, and the promoter got a call from Claudio, and she thought it was like an April Fool's joke. He's like,
yeah, great day for that.
Guest list for the Thank You Scientist show. And we thought it was one of our friends fucking around, but the promoter's like, do you want me to just put him on? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it just so happens, we're playing, and there he is in the crowd. He came to check it out. Yeah. And yeah, that was kind of the start of our relationship with them. And yeah, that's how it began.
Yeah, with the vocals too. I mean, Salvatore is definitely like within his range too. I can see the comparison.
Yeah,
but, I mean, musically, it's like completely different.
He's got that high tenor voice, and I think that's like a surface level comparison. But even, Sal is coming from they have similar timbre. Sal comes from a little different place. He's got a little more R&B kind of Michael Jackson sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a similarity. I don't mean Michael Jackson like in terms of his predilections. In terms of his.
Oh, thank God you made that clear, because I was really getting concerned.
That's why I wanted to clarify that. Right.
Thank goodness. Oh, jeez.
We don't need any more cancellations in this.
No.
I don't want
to get Sal canceled.
No, let's not do that. No, that's great though. I want to see. So with going back to like how you guys with the writing process, I mean, how does that initially start? Because like most of your average bands, when it's like, let's say 4 members, like 2 guitar players, bass and drums, and one of them singing. Let's just like go with that. Usually someone's writing like a basic structure to a song, and then people add little licks over top of it, or they just structure it in one person's mind, and then everybody else kind of contributes. Like how with the brass section, your violinist, like how do you guys really collaborate on getting songs done in order? Like how does that process work for you guys?
Well, every song is kind of different. There's been songs where in the early days of the band, I used to score pretty much everything and bring in sheet music. That's changed a lot over the years, although there have been songs still like that, but they're few and far between. But basically nowadays it's just like each, not specifically just me, but each band member will come up with an idea or a loose structure, and bring in some music, and then as a group we kind of fine tune it, and we all add our 2 cents, and we flesh out the arrangement, and it kind of goes from there. But every song is sort of a little different, so there's no steadfast rule. And I think that's important, because you want the process to be a little different, because you want the results to be just a little different each time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like FXMLDR is like 8 minutes long, and it's fantastic. And then you have other songs that are on the album. It's like 3 minutes, 4 minutes on average.
Yeah, very short. Yep.
Yeah, we have a couple short ones on there. It's certainly a lot of work. But part of it is just like the guys in the band are my best friends. We love spending time together. So what better way to spend time together than just challenge ourselves and try to push ourselves? That's the one thing that is really important to me, apart from just making music and touring and, getting it in front of people. Is just like, I want to keep on growing in the music. I never want to just make something to make it. I always want it to be like just pushing and learning, kind of growing sort of thing. That aspect is super important to me, because ideally I'm not in the same place as I was 5 years ago as a musician, right? So I want, and I want to keep that trend sort of going. The moment I feel like it'll be a very unexciting day when I just sort of stop pushing, for new shit. So that's that sort of drive has always been a part of what we do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then even with your individual work too, you're striving for more creativity, like with Ditch Tickler, and you have like a donation that you're doing for the first week of sales of colorofchange.org. What is that about? I'm curious, because I want to know what that's for.
So Ditch Tickler.
What a great name, by the way.
Fantastic.
That was like literally, I just do these comedy songs like totally as a joke, like just to make my friends laugh, and usually they're like kind of like sleazily sexy kind of R&B inspired things, and
a lot of pedals.
Yeah, it's totally just kind of a joke. But I decided during COVID, because I have like so many more of those dumb songs that I just, whenever I finish one, I'll just throw it up on the Bandcamp. But I just decided, let me just start putting these out. I'm also working on more serious like solo music. I'm writing like kind of a jazz fusion sort of trio record, which I hope to finish within the year. I've been writing it on and off for a long time, but I just get so preoccupied with Thank You Scientists and just other gigs that it always sort of falls away. So I'm trying to get that done, but yeah, there's going to be a lot more Ditch Tickler stuff coming, just like funny, dumb kind of shit. But yeah, the Color of Change thing was just, you know, it was at the height of the kind of Black Lives Matter kind of explosion sort of thing. And, you know, I just sort of kind of picked a charity that I thought was doing good stuff. And I just wanted to show some solidarity. And because I lost like, over a year of work, I wasn't exactly in the position to donate, a bunch of money on my own. So I just figured, well, why don't I'll put out some song. And if people like it, I'll give all the proceeds away. I just felt like it was the right thing to do something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of nothing. No, that's really appreciative.
Yeah. Even if it's a small dent, I just feel like at least I contributed a little, so that makes me feel better. But that was the deal with that. And I think that went well. I think Ben did the same thing. Ben did like a string arrangement of an Alcest song and a Dissection song. He's been doing a lot of like string quartet black metal arrangements, and so he was donating the proceeds as well to one of those bail relief fund charities at the time. And just trying to be good citizens,
Yeah, try to take care of each other. That's all we're trying to do in this time and age. I mean, we're not going to be out there like Trapped or Smash Mouth fucking ruining it for everybody, but
Yeah, it's nice to see that you'll be on the right side of history when you look back at this, because
it's like I do feel like there's sort of, as much as political lines try to divide us, I feel like there's a sort of common ethic that we can all get behind. It's just like we got to live together. We're all people. Let's just try to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people who are struggling up the best we can, and I'm all about that.
No, I feel you. I don't want to keep you up, hold you up too much, because of the fact that it is also your birthday, and I'm sure that you want to, take the rest of the day off, and you've already given us enough time to come on and talk to us and stuff. So
cool.
We're gonna let you sign off, man. I really appreciate it,
Thanks
dude.
a bunch.
Yeah, I had a fun time chilling. You guys take care.
Yep, nice talking to you. Happy birthday. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I appreciate you, brother. I'll keep in touch.
Keep safe out there and keep on keeping on.
See you, man.